might lose it. For my teammates that are on that wall, to be with them is the greatest treasure I can have. The only thing I wish my mother and father were here to see it. God bless all of you who've put me in here. I appreciate it. But my honor with Johnny, Tommy Davis, Billy Cannon, my high school coach, Johnny Red Robinson, my football coach, Paul Dietzel, all there. And it's just an honor to be associated with those kind of people. And we were not a team. We were a bunch of friends taking care of one another. And that was the way we all felt. None of us, Billy was an All-American, and I happened to be an All-American. What should have been an All-American is the entire squad. We were all one. If one got hurt, we filled in. And Billy wasn't great. Billy was born to be great. And he proved every foot of it. Johnny Robinson, what an athlete he is. A lot of people don't know about Johnny. Johnny was an all-state basketball player. Johnny was drafted by the Cincinnati Reds as a catcher. And they don't get any rougher than being a catcher in baseball. He made All-Pro 8 years at the Kansas City Chiefs. He intercepted more passes than any strong side safety in the history of the NFL. Now, me being put up beside the people like that, whoa. I want to thank y'all very much, and I'm in the last part of my life too, but I appreciate y'all putting me in, and I appreciate it. If you have any questions, I'd love to talk to you. And just like someone said, I'm not going to retire because that's where all my friends are. And I don't have many of them left. As a matter of fact, last Friday we lost Mike Stutka, who's on my team. And I think of the starting 33, there's only 15 of us left. And I thank God that Saturday, I think 5 of them will be here. And I'll answer any questions you'd like.
Let's start with Faraday. My goodness, what happened to be that successful so many years in a row?
Well, I don't know if you remember, there was a gentleman at Iowa. His name was Forrest Evershesky. And he developed the wing tee. And Johnny Red Robinson, when he came to Faraday, Louisiana, he installed the wing tee. And nobody in high school football had ever seen anything like it. And he perfected it. And it was just like the LSU team that I played with. We all were about the same size. We all grew up together. We played Pee Wee together. We played deal. And back then, I started playing in the 8th grade. And I was a guard then, but my brother was the center. And when he graduated, then I took his place. And it was just a deal. And we played a lot of different good football teams, and it wasn't all easy. And a lot of people, y'all will remember one we played against. He's from Spring Hill, Louisiana, a little Heisman Trophy winner by the name of John David Crow. We played them, and we beat them pretty bad. But let me tell you, I tackled John David Crow. On one of those plays, he gained 14 yards, and 10 of it was in the middle of my chest. He was a great football player.
Well, so were you. And when did you know I can play this game?
I just like to hit people. And it developed at a young age. People his name was Baker Newton. He was our Pee Wee coach. Now, I think I weighed 65 pounds. But anyway, we would sit up there and I'd be hitting people. We'd be tackling. And back then, there wasn't any rules. You could hit them any way you wanted to. But anyway, he asked me one time, he said, well, Max, how do you hit people that hard, this small? I said, well, when I think I'm close enough to tackle them, I'll take one more step. And that's the way you should drive through them, and you don't need your head to do it. And I think that's one of the greatest rules of all time, is eliminate that head step. But it was just one of those deals that all of us came along. We, off my senior year at Verity, Louisiana, of the 11 people that started on the team, 9 of them got scholarships to colleges.
Wow.
And 3 of them were at LSU.
Pretty good collection of talent, for sure. Questions in the room for Max Fugler? Max, LSU, so you get there, and you really never considered any other school seriously, did you?
Well, I went to a couple of schools to visit, and he's dead now, and he was the man, he's been dead for a long time, but the man that recruited me, his name was Abner Wimberly. And my mother loved Abner Wimberly. And he worked out a deal with her. And I visited several schools, but mother would tear letters for me to go visit people with tickets in it, and she'll tell Abner about it. And so that's one reason I still love him, think of him today. And matter of fact, at a reunion we had there, a 60-year reunion in Baton Rouge, we were at a building, and there was a statue of Abner Wimberly, and I said, I've got to have a picture with me with his statue, and I have it in my office at the deal. And it's the same thing there. We just, and like on the white team, we went both ways. And who was going to block me? I was a linebacker. There's Red Hendricks, Lynn LeBlanc. They got to take care of them before they take care of me. And we played against some good football. We played against Bob Lilly at TCU, and he's a pretty good football player himself. But we beat them too. But anyway, it was just a great bunch of people. Same way, we're still all friends today.
But it wasn't a consistent, immediate roar of success for LSU. There was some question, and then it all came together.
Well, we saw it the latter part of the season in '57. We saw some things. We were getting a little bit bigger, and we had a pretty good deal. And let me back up a minute. I left someone out. I'm sorry about who's on that wall. Marty Broussard. Tell you when I thought of Marty Broussard, my son is named after him. But anyway, you asked me the question again.
So when did it come together?
Oh, in the latter part of our sophomore year, and that, of course, that was the year that Jimmy Taylor was still there. And but we saw some things coming, and in the spring practice, we could see it starting to come together. And he came up with the 3-team system, and that was something that no one had ever thought of. And this happened in the 1958 game against Ole Miss that we beat him, and probably that was the game that we won the national championship with. Not for the way I played, but the way the teams played. Because it was in the paper the next day that an offensive guard for the Ole Miss Rebels told Coach Ball on the sideline, he said, Coach, they just brought a man in with sleep in his eye. They went and woke him up. That's why the 3 teams, we kept fresh. We wore them out. It was all, and the rule was, the white team always started the quarter. And if you started the quarter, you could come out and go back in. That made no difference how it happened. If we were going and scored, and we scored, then they would bring in the defense, because we would kick off, and then the defense would come in and take up until they tired out, and then the go team come in. And then we could come back in that same quarter. But the other 2 couldn't, because you had to start the quarter to be able to go back in. And that was one of the reasons that we won that. It's called that 3-team system. It was unbelievable.
I noticed you're sitting here in the audience right behind the quarterback. kind of want to do anything to Matt Dunnigan?
Pardon?
You want to, you right next to Matt Dunnigan, but you're behind him. You don't want to hit him or anything, do you?
No.
Tell the truth.
Only once.
Fair enough. That's all it might take. LSU's All-American, Matt Dunnigan. Max Fugler. Rick, you got a question real quick? Yeah.
Mr. Fugler, growing up in Faraday.
Excuse me. There is no Mr. with me.
Yeah. Well, I'm just a few years younger, not many, and I used to go to the games with my father and his good friend, a fellow by the name of Ralph Day, had a boy that played there. And I just want to know, when was it that you realized that you were our hero, that we really looked up to you?
Well, y'all need to get another hero. But I thank you for the honor. It's very kind of you. Thank you very much.
You remember that?
Max Fugler.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.